Have you ever seen those special TV shows or movies? You know the ones that are so wonderfully, unintentionally bad, but they bring you so much joy and captivate you, but for all the wrong reasons.
Well, we here at B-Watch Rewatch absolutely live for these underdog gems.
So buckle up, Busters, and please allow us,
Colin
and Cadence, a sibling duo who share a passion for such cinematic excellence, to take you on a wild ride through all the TV shows and movie plots you never knew you needed to hear.
Hey everybody, it's Colin.
Oh, hi, it's Cadence.
We're back for Twilight Saga New Moon Part 2.
Part 2.
Although it's only one movie, but Cadence and I love making double episodes for these because we just get too into the lore.
Oh, we love it.
We described it last time, too into the lore.
And it's crazy to me how dumb these movies are and how truly simple at their heart that they are. The plot is like so fucking stupid and dumb.
So dumb.
But there's so many little weird things about them that we just get sucked into it because it's like there's so many nonsensical details that we're like, well, we can't not talk about that.
I know.
And then it just turns into this like
The
complicated web of ridiculousness.
I know. We make everything way more complicated than it needs to be.
I mean, if you think about like some of our longest episodes, like Face Off and stuff, dumbest fucking movie ever, simplest plot ever, two guys swap faces. We got sucked into a rabbit hole with that one.
I know.
We were so
that was my most
frustrated
movie I've watched.
But yeah, so it seems like on the surface, these should be the fastest and easiest movies to cover. But when they're so ridiculous, you gotta get in there and dig around.
I understand that people want to go to the movies and escape. They want to escape into a story. And I wish I could do the same, but I'm just noticing all this dumb shit.
Yes, it's so
Especially
true.
this one. And right now, I'm still stuck on the fact that, like, Bella's the worst.
Oh, she's the fucking worst.
I know she's cool girl. She's too cool girl with the cactus, but she's still the worst this whole... I don't like her. I don't care for her. I'm not rooting for her.
She's so unlikable. So unlikable. Someone on our social media recently commented on Instagram. They were like, I didn't read the books, but is there like a reason that Bella's blood is the yummiest and like everybody loves her so much and she's the coolest? And I'm like, no. Granted, I only read the first book because they were so fucking stupid, but no, like she's not endearing. She's not funny. She's not enigmatic. She's not interesting. She's not creative.
Well, I thought her blood was
nothing.
only yum-yummers to Edward. I didn't realize it was yum-yummers to all vampires.
It's the yum-yummerest to Edward, yes. However, don't you remember when Alice starts smelling it? She's like, "Oh, you do
like
smell good."
last episode where Edward slammed her into the thing because his brother tried to freaking eat her.
Jasper.
Oh, it's
right.
the yum-yummiest. Everybody's after her yum-yum blood.
But the point is like, no, there isn't anything about her that you're like, I get it.
We just left her off. Last episode, she went to a movie with the two boys, and they're both still after her. They're holding their little hands out, ready for her to hold them, and she's in the middle like, oh, I can't believe this is happening. And I'm like, she just broke up. Well, I guess technically Edward kind of broke up with her, but she's just newly single, and she's already got two dudes, like, already begging for her hand in marriage. She's just, it's crazy. I don't like it.
We left this part out of last time, but when they're sitting outside in the lobby while Mike is throwing up, as we mentioned, he got sick from the violence and face punch. But as her and Jacob are sitting out in the lobby on the steps, she's like, Jacob, I'm just like a car with an engine that you just can't fix. And I'm like, what about that is like appealing to Jacob to the point that he's like, oh, I will fix this engine. I will put in all the time and energy. He's already helped her for so long.
You're just a girl that moved from Phoenix, dude. You don't have any powers. You don't live in this. You live a very normal, happy life. Your dad takes care of you. He brings you birthday presents when you wake up. Like, you are a middle-class girl who's just living in Washington. Like, you're not an engine that's broken. You're fine.
Really think about this. What are Bella's pastimes? What are her hobbies? What are her talents?
She likes going to bookstores and finding books about the cold ones. Yeah, she doesn't really.
What is
clumsy,
she like?
clumsy.
She has no. You're right. That's her hobby.
Cactus
She's
and
all over
clumsiness.
everything
She
all the time.
loves that.
Cactus.
You know what?
Cactus mom.
Yeah, you bet. When these scenes aren't rolling, she's taking care of that cactus and always at the bookstore. And she's really good at Googling things. Google.
Oh, I did forget about
she's
that.
She's like a sponge when she Googles things. So everything she Googles, she soaks it all in one moment. So she probably does have a lot on her mind. She probably is like a walking Wikipedia.
You know what? You're right. I'm giving her not enough credit for her internal life, which is probably very intense and beautiful and rich. And I'm just not seeing it.
You're not seeing it. I think she's really, she's multidimensional. And now she's hooked on that shabu shabu with the adrenaline rushes. So it's another part of her personality.
To see Ghost Edward.
Doing whatever she can to see little Ghost Edward, who's just like, Bella, you better not, Buster. So we left off on them, as Kaden said. They were at the movies, and she was with Mike and Jacob, and both of them are clearly they're just trying to get Bella's hand in their hands.
Right.
Like Kaden said, Mike ends up getting sick because the movie Face Punch is just too much for him. And we left off at this really weird point because Mike comes out of the bathroom and he's like, you guys, I'm sick from Face Punch. And Jacob has a hot flash and loses his damn mind.
Literally is like, oh, you're sick? You want to go to the hospital? I'll put you in the hospital. Like rages, steroid rage. Yeah. And it's very weird. But Bella's like, oh, you're really hot. And he runs out of the theater. And then that's where we leave off, is that she's calling and calling and calling and calling.
Jake, your dad says you have mono. He won't let me visit, but would you call me? Hey, it's me again. I'm sorry about what I said at the movie theater. I just wanted to hear your voice, so no pressure. Jacob, please, call me.
And she's like, I don't understand. Why did you just disappear? And I guess at one point she mentions that the dad says he has mono, and that's why he hasn't been at school, and that's why she hasn't been able to talk to him or whatever. But I think she's Googling mono, and she's like, how long do the symptoms of mono last? And can I see someone with mono? And so she's like, oh, I know that this is not true because I've been Googling mono.
Yeah, and for someone who nonchalant, doesn't care, she's really trying to get up in his business after this whole thing happens. Like Kaden said, she's calling, so it's like, okay, well, obviously you care about Jake a little bit more than you're leading on, you broken engine.
She's like, I'm a broken engine, you don't want me. But then as soon as he doesn't talk to her, she's like, talk to me, please talk to me.
She's multidimensional. After he's not responding to her calls, she's like, you know what? I'm going to get to the bottom of this myself, Bella way. So she drives her beat up truck with the broken engine, just like her heart. And she goes to see Jacob on the reservation.
It's pouring rain.
Pouring rain. Jacob has no shirt on as per usual.
Shirtless.
But guess what? Now Jacob's beautiful, long, luscious locks are gone. And he's got a little tattoo. He's a bad boy now.
Got a little bad boy.
He's freaking bad. And she's like, dude, Jacob, what the hell? Do you have mono?
Wait, he doesn't have Mardi Gras beads, though, so he's not that bad of a boy,
no,
as we learned from J-Lo's boyfriend.
Yeah, you go full bad boy if you wear Mardi Gras beads. Oh my God, are you talking about when J-Lo comes home?
Yes, with that
my
guy.
favorite part. Oh, and where he has the gun. Oh, and she's like, anyway, that's neither here nor there. Go listen to her. This is me now. Oh, meticulous.
It's so good. Just go listen to it and watch This Is Me, ... Now. It's worth your time. So, yeah, but he's now a bad boy, got a tattoo.
Jake! Hey! You cut your hair off and got a tattoo?
Bella.
I thought you were too sick to come outside. Or pick up the phone when I call.
Go away.
What?
Go away.
What's wrong? Hey! What happened? Did Sam get to you? Is that what's happening?
Sam's trying to help me.
Something that kind of came up in the first half of this movie that we didn't really touch on is that there is one older tribal native boy named Sam. He's the one that carries her out of the forest when she gets lost for 500 hours right behind her house.
Yep. She went in behind her house to meet with Edward. Edward left, and she was like, I'm too heartbroken to find my way back to my home.
I'm just going to lay down right here and give up. And so Sam is the one that finds her But the whole time you see in the background, Sam is like kind of recruiting all these like young native boys, and they keep saying like Sam, which sounds creepy when I'm saying
Oh, and they're all
like
shirtless,
that.
young shirtless native boys.
You're right.
It's just like his little posse. You've got the cold Cullens, and then this weird posse of like shirtless young boys.
And Jacob has been talking to Bella the whole movie about this. Like, I don't get what these guys see in Sam. Each of my friends just like one at a time gets like sucked into this cult. And Sam just seems like kind of a dick and I don't want to be involved with him at all. And so when Bella shows up and it's pouring rain and Jacob's shirtless and he's got his haircut and he's got his tattoo and he's full bad boy style, she's like, oh, you're in Sam's cult now. Like you spent a lot of this me about how Sam's cult was the worst and you didn't ever want to be involved in it, but now you're out here running around here shirtless with your hair cut short and you're perfectly fine with it.
With all these shirtless guys. My favorite part is they're having this conversation full rain and she says that, and then in the background, Sam and his cult of shirtless boys are like right standing on the forest edge. Just looking at them all shirtless. And I'm like, this
they
is
just
so...
like kind of emerge from the trees to just sort of like
so
lurk.
Weird. I'd be like, Jacob, speaking of, they're like right fucking behind you, dude. Like speaking of a cult, they're like all right fucking behind you. They're watching us talk right now in the rain. I know I told you I was a broken engine and you can't fix me, but I'm telling you right now, get the hell out of here.
But he tells her,
we can't be friends anymore. I know. I promised I wouldn't hurt you, Bella. And this is me keeping that promise. Go home. And don't come back.
He's like, listen, I get what I said. And even though you don't understand it right now.
How is being in Sam's cult hurting her? He's done nothing to hurt her. She rejected him at the movies.
I know. But when he finally tells her we can't be friends, he's like, I'm no longer a good guy.
I'm a bad boy.
I can't be friends with you. I'm a bad boy.
Look at my hair. Look at my tattoo. I got a one tattoo.
Yes.
He's pure JoJo Siwa. He's made the JoJo Siwa transformation. I'm a really freaking bad boy now. Calma's a bitch. He shows up with full sparkles. He's like, I'm a really bad boy now.
I'm the first one that's ever been in this cult. I'm the first one that's ever been a werewolf.
I make werewolf pop now. I'm the first person who's ever made werewolf pop. It's crazy.
He's such JoJo Siwa. You're so right.
Excuse me, Michael Jackson made werewolf pop a long time ago, bud. What are you talking about?
He just starts dancing like intensely.
Oh, the worst dancing. Love JoJo Siwa's dancing. Oh, it's so bad. It's so aggressively jerky.
Have you seen those videos? Yeah, where she's dancing, but there's no music behind them.
Oh,
and she's just like dancing in silence. They kill me every time.
I got to give it to her. I'm not a dancer. I could be if I wanted to, but I'm not a dancer. But good for her for moving her body in such an aggressive way is what I'm trying to say.
Yes.
The moves themselves aren't the most beautiful, but her aggressive nature of doing it is quite impressive.
It feels like she's mad at the dance. It feels like she's mad at dancing and at music. And she's just like, this is how I'm going to work out my anger.
Well, she's a bad girl now. She's so angry.
Oh, that's true.
You got to be extra aggressive on the dancing.
Thinking of him as JoJo Siwa is just the perfect analogy because that is absolutely what it is.
He's a bad boy now. He's got a tattoo and short hair. And I'm wearing no shirt. You see that? That means I'm a bad boy. I'm wanting in the Wayne.
He like bedazzles his little tattoo, puts like body glitter on it. He's like, see this right here? This is my tattoo. So she's like, which you're right. She's like, I can't offer you like my heart because I'm broken, wah, 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 wah. But then the second he's like, I can't be friends with you because I'm now a bad boy. She's like, you promised you would never hurt me. Like all of a sudden she wants him because he doesn't want her. It's a very psychologically manipulative situation.
Yeah, she's
but he says, I know it doesn't seem like it, but this is me not hurting you because were you to now get involved with a bad boy like myself, it would actually end up with more pain down the long road. So I'm doing you the favor of just like cutting you off now. And I know you don't get that, but...
Well, she does get it because Edward did the exact same thing to her. So she's like, cool, Jacob.
So
Edward actually did the exact same thing. But he's really insistent that she would never understand. Everyone's too bad. They're all too much bad boys for her. And so she's like, you know what, Jacob, I get it. I'm going to leave now, right? I'm going to leave you with your cult of shirtless boys. And she goes back to her house. And then later that night, Jacob, again shirtless, parkours up to her window. You guys, he I don't know if wolves are actually that agile. I've never seen a wolf that agile.
You've never seen a wolf parkour? They're badass. They're parkouring over everything.
But he's like, hop in her mailbox, on her car, up in the tree. Like, wow, I'm like, Jesus, he's really, really agile.
It goes from part of the bad boy situation is like parkour is an inherently bad boy thing to do. And so he just immediately knows.
I remember getting so into parkour. I mean, not like actually doing it.
I was like, did you?
Sometimes I would jump over like a mailbox if I was feeling really bad. But I remember like watching videos and just being like, I really want to learn how to do this parkour. I still want to be a parkourer.
I want to. Will I learn? No. Do I want to? Yes.
I want to, though.
But I won't actually do it.
So he does parkour up to her bedroom. And again, they get into this conversation where it's like,
hey, look, I'm sorry.
For what?
I wish I could explain, but I literally can't. If you ever had a secret you couldn't tell anyone, one that wasn't yours to share, well, that's what it's like for me. But worse, you have no idea how tight I'm bound.
I hate this. I hate what they've done to you.
Like, what is going on? And he's like, I literally can't tell you. And I'm like, do you know what literally means? Like, no. Like, he's still just like pulling this whole like, I came parkoured to your window. And also,
that's the second boy who just like comes into her room without
That's what I was going to say. Like, she lives in a world where vampires exist, but like, she's not thinking, like, at least be thinking like, Jacob, he's a fucking vampire, dude. Jacob's also a vampire. Like, you got to be thinking something, because how did you get up to my window so quickly? You got to be thinking
like, this is weird.
It's only been 3 months, but I've already met a vampire that I fell in love with, and he broke my heart and left. And now I met a bad boy jumping through my window. Something,
and it's like the Cullens can't be the only vampires in the world. Like, maybe there's like a grapevine of vampires. They're like, there's this really cool girl, Bella. If you go to this address, you can climb in her window. She'll be totally fine with it. She's totally chill.
I do have to give Bella one thing. Like, if you found out vampires were real, you'd be watching your back all the time for all these other mythical creatures that were real.
Oh, for sure.
You'd be like, oh, there could be pixies. Trolls.
The world is no longer what I thought it was.
Yes, Bigfoot,
this is going to get weird.
It's everywhere. And you're just like, I would be constantly on edge of like, what the fuck is that? What the fuck is that noise?
And she's in Washington State, so she's in prime Sasquatch territory.
Oh, she's in pure
Squatch territory.
So
I would constantly be worried about that.
I know. She falls in love with the Squatch, and he takes her back to the Squatch family.
They have all those little like Squatch babies, and they're just like,
your Squatch blood is the yum-yum. You've got the yum-yum Squatchest blood there ever was.
You got the squatchiest Squatch of them all.
Their one superpower is to be blurry in every photo. That's like the only claim to fame, is like the Squatch clan is just really blurry. No one ever sees us.
You guys will be in the background of every photo, but just enough that no one can tell if you're really there. It's pretty badass, I will say. Pretty cool.
Pretty cool.
So he tells her, haven't you had a secret that you couldn't share? And I also love that this whole time she like kind of punches his abs, holds her, like lingers on his abs a little too long.
Yeah, she kind of like punches him and she's like, kind of feels him a little bit and then looks down. I'm like, Bella, you're sending mixed messages, girl.
I mean, if you got this hot bot in your room, you may as well go for it. And also, I don't know if you noticed this. This is just a subtext. Because Stephenie Meyer is like very Mormon, there's this, and we kind of talked about this last episode, there is this very Mormon theme of like the lust. Like, you don't want the lust to get out of control. So every time they kiss, like they have to stop and pull themselves away because they don't want to get carried away, like things like that. And she never, for all of the love that she has for Jacob and how close they grow, which I maintain, she's emotionally more intimate and closer with Jacob than she ever was with Edward, because he's like helpful and supportive and kind, and they have conversations about other stuff other than how much they love each other. But setting that aside, they never kiss. And every time they get really close, something happens. If she kissed another boy, she would not be worthy of this true love with Edward. It would like sully her.
Oh, I'd be playing both of them.
Yes.
Oh, I'd be playing them both. Hey, Edward's out of sight, out of mind, dude. You left me in a forest. I almost died. Pure missing 411, stuck alone by myself in the forest behind my house. Edward's out of the picture. You've got hot Jacob in your room, sweating with his new tattoo and short hair, being like, I can't tell you the secret. I'd be like, you don't need to tell me anything. Let's just
You know
Let's
what,
just
bud?
hang out. You know what?
Let's let our bodies tell each other secrets. I'm fine with that. No words necessary.
I want to tell you a story with my mouth. Why is everything so dramatic? Just be teenagers and
it really is.
Make out in the bed.
It all has to have like this eternal consequence. Just be like, yeah, this hot shirtless guy.
This is how high school was for me too. Yeah, for sure. I was always just like the eternal consequences of everything I do.
So anyway, she's like, I hate what he's done to you. Like, I hate that your hair is cut. I hate that you seem like you can't tell me stuff. So then this was my favorite part of this conversation. Jacob's like,
do you remember when we walked on the beach at La Plush?
The story about the cold ones.
you remember that conversation that we had on the beach?
Yeah, Jacob, I do.
It's the same conversation where he was like, oh, you caught that, did you? Which was like our favorite part ever.
Love that.
It's a similar vibe because you're like, well, yeah, I remember that we were walking on the beach and you told me that there's fucking vampires who have a pact with another tribe. Yeah, I would remember that conversation. It was very strange and intense. And then you were like, oh, it's just a story.
Yeah, I would remember that too. I'd remember that conversation for sure.
So she's like, well, yeah, I remember. And he's like,
I guess I understand why that's the only part you remember.
I guess it makes sense that you only remember the part about the cold ones.
Yeah, you were talking shit about him, Jacob.
Yeah.
Your whole crew was talking shit about him. Of course I remember. Of course. Because like the whole time he didn't really say anything. He just talking about the cold ones. So she's like, yeah, of course I remember the topic of the conversation that we had.
Because then I literally went home and Googled it. And then I literally went and got a book about it.
And then I almost got sexually assaulted in the parking lot. And then Edward came and found me and told me he could read minds. Sex, money.
Yes.
Sex, money.
Sex, money. So he's like very upset that he's like, okay, well, I can't tell you my secret, but if you think about the other people that were in that
story.
Remember
the wolf people?
There was like a tribe.
Native
they came
Americans.
From wolves.
They've been here for a while. They descended from wolves, and she's just not getting it.
And so he's trying to like drop hints. He's dropping the hint that now he knows that Edward was a vampire, but also dropping the hint of like, just try to remember the other half of that story. Just think back to that day on the beach. Just like try to remember what else happened.
She cannot do it. Poor Bella, sweetheart. She's like, I was just thinking about my cactus. I'm sorry.
He's like, try to remember like there were sepia tones and there was like this whole
big
flashback.
Yep. Loincloth.
Try to remember any of the hot happening. Mm-hmm. And she's just like, sorry, can't. So then he leaves the room, but when he goes to go leave the window, she's like, no, yeah, like freaking out that he's jumping. And then he parkours down and she's like,
I mean, think about that for a second. Like, let's think about this. My friend comes over, my sweet friend that I love but don't have romantic feelings for, shows up in my room out of nowhere and then runs off into the forest in the middle of the night. I'd be like, what the hell is going on? Why didn't you just call me like a normal person? Where's your car? Why are you running into the forest? Do you know the forest is really dangerous. I got lost in there.
I actually just got lost in there for quite a long time.
But like that would be a really weird thing. And she's just like, oh, that's totally, Jacob. He loves popping in my window, running out in the woods. That guy.
Last time I saw him, he did not know how to parkour out of my window. And this time he does know how to parkour out of my window.
Yeah, he's showing some really... and his body's
seems
giant.
Different. He's huge.
He never has his shirt on. His hair's cut. He's got a weird tattoo. That happens to be the same tattoo that all the shirtless boys of this guy's cult have. Well, you know what? Bella's got a lot on her mind. Let's just, you know what?
You know what? One other thing happens during this conversation that I forgot that I will say. She's like, maybe we can get you out of this. And she goes, do you want to run away with me for a while? We can get out of here. You can get out of this cult. I'll take you away. And he was like, you would do that for me? And she's like, yes, I would do that for you. He like stops to be like acknowledging like, I really appreciate that you would do that for me. But no, this is not something I can get out of. Because from his point of view, right, like he knows he could run away, but he's still going to be a werewolf no matter where he goes. She doesn't know that yet. She just thinks he's in a cult and she just wants to get him out of the cult. But she's at a point where she will do anything to save Jacob, which makes it even more confusing that she doesn't want to be with him romantically, but she's like also wanting to run away with him. So it's just making things complicated. So then, of course, he parkours out of the window, no questions asked, and that is the end of that. So this whole time, this whole movie, I don't think we even mentioned this the first half.
Our 3.5 hour first half, we don't mention this.
Listen, there's too much to cover.
Too much to cover.
But right after Edward leaves, Bella starts having these like internal monologues where she's addressing Alice.
Alice, I saw him. Maybe I'm crazy now. I guess that's okay. If a rush of danger is what it takes to see him, then that's what I'll find.
When I'm watching this unfold, she's like sitting in her room. It's when she's like in her deep depressive state in the first half, where she's just like sitting there for months and months and months. I was literally in my notes being like, she's sending Alice telepathic messages because Alice can read minds, and like she knows Alice will hear her.
Alice can't read minds. Alice can barely see she that so ravens it 2 seconds into the future. So you weren't even right about any of those things. Alice is like, hey Bella, sweetheart, can't read minds, girl, and can only see 2 seconds into the future sometimes, vaguely 2 seconds into the future.
That was like my thought process was like, oh, she knows Alice is gonna. Well, maybe Alice will pick up on like some messages.
No, she doesn't know. She doesn't know all the vampire what they can do at this point. Some might be able to hear. Who knows?
She'll be like, she can pick up that like, I miss Edward. Maybe you send him the message. So that's what I was thinking was happening. So as we progress in the movie, at one point we see Bella and she's just physically typing out an email. And guys, that's where the monologue has been coming from. She's emailing Alice and it's just reading the emails.
That's funny because I thought the same thing too. I thought she was just like, or writing in her diary or something. You think she's just like at least contemplating to herself, but no. And my favorite part about the scene is that all these emails she's sending, she's getting mailer demons. And I'm like, okay, so they left town and they just delete all their email. Her blood is so yum that she sends it through email. They have to literally deactivate their emails. They're like, you know what? Her blood's too yum.
I can smell that yum through the email.
I can't. We have to all completely
Jasper gets an email and he just loses his shit.
We all have to just delete our emails, all of us, mailer demons the whole way out. But I kind of thought the same thing too, that it was so funny that now she's just pen pals with Alice. Like, where are you, girl? What are you doing? By the way, I just keep getting mailer demons. Regardless, she's emailing Alice, just being like,
Alice, things are bad again. Without Jake, I can't stand it. I don't see Edward anymore. I will find the place where I can see him again.
I'm going to the place where Edward and I are. It's our sacred place, which is just like a field behind her house, which is the same field that Edward left her in and she got lost at.
Because remember how they laid in the first one? They laid in the grass and stared at each other after his sparkles.
That's all I ever do.
I'm pretty sure it's that field. So she just wants to remember that staring at each other in the field
but I would
for
be
a
like,
while.
Girl, you got lost after Edward left you in the back of your house. Like, don't go into the woods alone. Don't go try to find it.
You do not have a good sense of direction. You know what? I would not do that if I were you.
Just go somewhere else that you remember being with Edward. But she's going out there, and all of a sudden, as she's getting ready to lay down and look into the eyes of not Edward.
Ghost Edward.
Talking to him, telepathically just talking to him. He cannot hear you, girl. Alice, are you here too? Alice? Edward? Are you both here?
Alice,
will you guys, I'm in the field.
Will you tell Edward?
Alice, will you tell Edward I'm in the field? I want to do something crazy so I can see his ghost. I need to go crazy. I'm gonna stab myself just so I can see Edward's ghost. You tell him that. Alice?
I have a knife here. I'm about to stab myself.
Alice,
I'm about to do
I'm serious. It's gonna be my birthday all over again, girl. You better tell him.
It's getting closer to my skin.
She just cannot think that Alice does not reach telepathy. So in this place that she sees or is going to, I guess, sit and contemplate Edward because she's madly in love with him, she runs into our old friend Laurent. Laurent, he comes out sassy as can be, dreads out, spitting game.
Bella.
Laurent.
I didn't expect to find you here. I went to visit the Cullens, but the house is empty. I'm surprised they left you behind. Aren't you sort of pet of theirs?
He is. And it's also confusing because Bella says what everyone's thinking, which is like,
why are you here? I mean, you helped us.
Dude, you helped us escape last time. I don't understand. You helped me get away. You helped participate in the ruse.
Yeah, well, I guess I should say that he is there to maybe kill Bella. I left that little part out.
Yeah, so he's asking all kinds of questions because he's like,
do the Cullens visit often? It came as a favor to Victoria. She asked me to see if you were still under the protection of the Cullens.
So I guess that means you're not protected anymore.
So no more late night baseball?
Yeah.
Or are we going to do that anymore?
No baseball games.
I wanted to play that one more time.
That is when also Edward, imaginary vision Edward, that we don't quite know if he's
a ghost
truly
or
there or not.
Or yeah.
But in this time, he kind of is telepathically really talking to her because he tells her,
why?
I better.
To lie to Laurent and say that the Cullens are definitely not gone from Forks. They're just on vacation from Forks. They will definitely be back to Forks, and she is definitely protected still.
Thanks, Edward. Thanks for telling me that. Hey, thank you for that really good advice. I probably couldn't have figured that out on my own as I'm about to die. Like, I'm pretty sure I can figure out an excuse, bud.
Mm-hmm.
Tell him we went to the movies. Bella, tell him that the Cullens went to the movies, and it's a really long movie. Thanks, Edward.
Yes.
Okay.
Laurent's like, well, do they ever visit you? Or like, if I killed you right now, would they know where I was? Like, are they going to check on you?
Edward's like, tell him that we're in the trees. We're really close too. We know. Tell him that. Bella, tell him that.
Tell him we've been watching him this whole time.
Tell him I'm right behind you. I can see him. Tell him what he's doing. And I'm like, Edward, like, what is that? This is the stupidest thing in the world.
Which is like, you brought this up last time, but I'm just reminding people, they knowingly left Forks for the dumbest fucking reason ever, because Carlisle supposedly looks older or doesn't look older yet or whatever. However, they know Victoria's out there. They talk about it at the beginning of the movie.
So they basically leave Bella to die.
They know she's like out for revenge. So they're just like, bye, not our problem.
They leave Bella to die.
Even though you're part of our family, even though she's part of this family now, we're going to protect her. Then they just up and leave her.
They probably know that Victoria's been distracted with some other things, because Victoria was supposed to kill Bella at prom, remember? And she's just been like, you know what? I'll get to it when I get to it. I'm a regular vampire teen. I'm not like other teens. I will procrastinate, because literally Victoria's had months at this point to find Bella and kill her.
Yes.
I think they just didn't know what they were doing with that storyline. Because like every time they do show Victoria, she's jumping from something else to something else. Like she's on the hunt always. And I'm like, Victoria.
She knows where everyone is.
Yeah, you know, what are you hunting for?
It's not like she's trying to find them. She absolutely knows. So the fact that Laurent would come all the way to Forks to be like, Victoria wants to kill you, when Victoria's like hanging around Forks, just does not make
And you know Laurent knows
sense,
the Cullens are gone. You know they know. Of course he knows, but he's doing that whole thing where he's like, I'm going to talk to you very slowly, ask you all these questions, but I'm going to kill you too.
Victoria won't be happy about my killing you, but I can't help myself. You are so mouth-watering.
I'm supposed to be like, double check and be like, yep, she's absolutely there. The Cullens are definitely not there. You're good to go kill her because like no one else is around. But I'm not going to do that. I'm actually going to kill you myself because your blood is just the yummiest. And so
you got that
I
sweet
cannot
shabu-shabu
resist
yum-yum. Can't do it. Victoria doesn't get to taste that. I get to do it. So right as Laurent is like,
Don't be afraid. I'm doing you a kindness. Victoria plans on killing you slowly, painfully, whereas I'll make it quick. I promise. You will feel nothing.
doing that whole thing where you talk to the person you're going to kill for an extended long time, we get this pack of freaking wolves comes out.
I don't believe it.
And they chase Laurent off. But as one wolf is passing, he gives a little look at Bella. Try to remember who this is. Did you listen to the story? Listen to the story, Bella.
He's like eyeballing her like, look over there.
Bella, look at the tattoo. I'm parkouring this guy. And she's like, wow, that's really weird. I didn't realize there were giant werewolf-looking wolves in Forks.
There's that like whole subplot where you hear in like lots of little side conversations throughout the movie, like,
another missing hiker brings the total to 3 presumed dead. Rangers are searching for the killer animal.
I did see something in the woods. It was jet black and huge. On all fours, it was still taller than a person. A bear, maybe? Yeah, you're not the only one. My dad's been getting reports at the station. Like 5 hikers have been killed by some bear, but they can't find the bear.
2 hikers were killed in the woods. And then at school, they're like, I swear I saw something in the woods.
And there were, in the first ones, there were so many deaths by wild animals. And I'm thinking to myself, this is from Missing 411 days. Like, animals they're not just killing people all the time. You guys, it's really, 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 really rare to die from an animal death. It's not just something, you don't just have like 10 people casually die in your town and they're just like, oh, a wild animal got him. There's really those rabid bears out there. But I get what you're saying. Anyway, point being, the wolves save her. They go get Laurent out of there. She's like, that was weird. Was that? Was Jacob talking to me about something on the beach about this? Am I on his land?
Does this involve a pact? Like, are we on the reservation? What's happening? So anyway, she's able to escape.
After this really weird thing with Laurent, she's just like, I'm going to go talk to Jacob. I just want to go to the reservation, talk to Jacob.
She's still really upset that he's part of the cult. And she's like, I was just surrounded by 10 gigantic 20-foot wolves.
I almost got murdered by a rogue vampire.
But my top priority is going to talk to Jacob.
Before she talks to Jacob, she finds Sam.
Yeah, Sam's like always with his little boys, shirtless boys, like hanging out in the field, just cash.
They all always hanging out in a field.
So she sees him. She calls him out. She's like,
What did you do? Hey, what did you do? Hey, what did you do to him?
Easy.
He didn't want this.
What did we do? What did he do? What did he tell you?
Both of you calm
Nothing.
down.
He tells me nothing because he's scared of you.
she slaps him.
Oh, Bella, you crossed a line. You crossed a line with Sam.
Yeah. If you've been keeping track of like anger in this movie and like what it does to certain people in this movie, but he cannot control it. He gets so mad he starts snarling and then immediately turns into a wolf, which I would think you would learn how to like meditate and keep that under control and only let that out at the worst times. Like, come on.
Yeah, you own a cult of shirtless boys. Like all your boys are watching you right now. Show up. Show them how it's done.
Set an example.
Yeah, set an example, Sam.
It's okay to be like, you know what? That was not appropriate. I'm actually not going to turn into an animal who can't control my rage and kill you for that.
I bet they could never drive. They can never drive in traffic. So much road rage. They'd be wolfing it left and right.
Oh, could you imagine the road rage?
They're just like, pop into a wolf like behind the steering wheel. People are like, whoa.
There's just a whole trail of cars that are just destroyed.
Anytime anything bad happens, like they go to McDonald's, their order's late, turn into a wolf. No one can control it. Werewolves, not swearwolves. That's what I'm talking about.
Yes, and it's like when you watch stuff like the Hulk, his whole thing is like he's learning how to control it so that he doesn't Hulk out all the time. Yeah. It's very like this internal thing, but the wolves just are like, whatever. When you feel it, go for it. Not a big deal.
And you know that Sam's been called out before for having a shirtless boy clan where he makes them all get the same tattoo.
This is not the first time this has happened.
Yeah, so I'm sure he's probably like had to deal with this several times with several of these young man's parents.
Yes.
But either way, he starts snarling and still Bella's just like not getting it. Like a pack of dire wolves saved her earlier, all these shirtless guys. So he turns into a wolf instantly and his clothes shred off, which I have a lot of questions about.
Yes.
You know, obviously, is that where they don't wear shirts?
Going?
Where do the clothes
go?
Do
you get to get dressed right after?
Yes, as a werewolf, are
they all wolves with pants on?
Yes, like what happens when you can turn back into a human? Because she's like, oh shit, this was not what I was expecting. I was not expecting this reaction from this guy. And she starts running away, and as she's running away, Jacob runs out of the other side, and he's running towards her, and she's like, Run! Sam's a werewolf. Like, in my head, I'm like, Bella, of course Jacob knows that. Of course he knows that.
Yeah, but she's not connecting the dots. So she's like, Jacob, run. And then he runs right past her, leaps over her.
Parkours over her, not leap.
By the time he lands on the other side, he's already transformed into a werewolf. And so these giant werewolves start fighting each other over Bella.
It's got to be chaos over there all the time. Could you imagine a crew of like young hormonal men just fighting all the time?
Yes, that's what I was going to say.
And Sam obviously can't control it. So you know they're all just woofing out all the time, hitting each other.
If nobody's working hard to control this thing and they are freaking hormonal teenage boys with testosterone going on, I cannot imagine the chaos that is happening over there all the time.
Oh, wolf fights all the time.
It is a nightmare.
Wolf fight.
Wolf fight.
It's time for a wolf fight.
It totally is.
But again, like Jacob turns into a wolf and his clothes all go off. So I'm like, they have to just spend so much money. You would also learn to control your temper because you'd be like, I just bought a new pair of pants. I don't want to rip them.
Yeah.
It's okay that you slapped me. I just bought a new
pair of pants.
Pair of pants.
Pair of pants. And it's like, is that why they're not wearing shirts? Because they're like, well, the pants, we can like figure out that. But shirts are the real issue. So we don't want to rip all of our shirts, so we're gonna keep shirtless. Like, what's the logic of that?
Is there just a bunch of shredded shirts all over the reservation? Like shredded shirts in the kitchen, shredded, or like, are they cleaning up? They're probably cleaning up their shirts. They're probably like, you know, that time I wolfed out, I'm gonna go clean it up.
I mean, but now they're not wearing them. Like, once you join the cult, there is no shirt.
That's true. So it would only be torn pants everywhere. I bet you Sam, he runs a tight ship, and he's like, if you're gonna wolf out somewhere, go clean up your mess. Leave it like you saw it, you know?
Yes. And then have just like a whole stash of like Goodwill pants you bought for like $1 because you're going to lose a lot of pants.
Just wear muumuus all the time.
That's true.
Just wear a big old muumuu. You can turn into a wolf with a fashionable muumuu on.
In What We Do in the Shadows, they wear like their sweatpants because they want them to expand. Wear something stretchy. Wear leggings. Just something flexible.
And also, do you choose when you not wolf out? Can you choose like, okay, I'm calm down? Or like, how do you turn back into a human.
That's also a good question because we never see that. I don't know if that's like a visual effects thing. They were just like, oh, we can't do that.
Probably.
I mean, it has to be because you see them turn into the wolf, but it's probably harder to see them turn back into a human.
And they turn into a wolf. They get really raged out. And also, I thought werewolves. And you know what? We're focusing too much on it. Bottom line, she figures out that Jacob's a werewolf. And just like in Bella's style, she's just like, oh.
Because that's the thing about Bella. She is the epitome of the cool girl. So when something crazy like this happens, she finds out someone's a vampire or she finds out someone's a werewolf. She takes it in stride. She just keeps going. It's not a big deal. She's cool. She can deal with everything.
She's cool as a cucumber.
After Jacob and Sam fight, they're like, well, Bella's cool. She did not freak out. Like, we should tell her everything about being a werewolf. And we should just like let her in on all the secrets. Because
she's part of the cult now. She's the cult leader now. She's Bella the cult leader. Yeah. She front page of the reservation news. Bella's the new cult leader. She's taking over Sam. Yes. She's too cool for school.
Yes.
Because everybody in the fucking town is obsessed with Bella. So they just instantly make her queen of cult. Queen of wolf.
They're
cult.
like, you know what? She can take over. So then this was one of Colin's favorite parts. They want her to meet someone special. Emily, Sam's fiance.
Yeah, Sam's fiance. They do that thing in this movie where they're like, are you ready to see her?
Oh, hey. About Emily, Sam's fiance? Don't stare. It bugs Sam.
Why would I stare?
Don't stare.
Don't stare. And so you're like as a viewer, you're like, oh, okay, what are we going to have? And this beautiful woman comes out with a baby little scar on her cheek. I was ready for some shredded up fiance. And I'm thinking to myself, she's a petite woman and those wolves are giant. It's not like he's like this, like if he actually literally clawed her with his giant wolf paws, her face would be shredded off.
Yes,
it wouldn't just be three little baby like, like no, her face. Like if Sam got mad, her face would be ripped off.
Yes, they say, don't stare at it. One time, Sam got really mad, which I'm like, that's probably all the time based on what just happened in the field. Mm-hmm. Sam got really mad, and Emily was, they say this, standing too close. And I'm like, these wolves are 9 feet tall. Their paws are the size
of her face.
Yes. So like he would just have to be like reach up and gently scratch her on the face for her not to be dead and her face to be crushed.
You know what? She was probably standing too close when he was morphing into a wolf. So he was a little bit half man, half human. His little baby claws were not quite full wolf.
Maybe.
He probably just gave her a little grace. He's like, sorry, girl. Sorry, Emily. I was changing. And she's like, no big deal. I caught you when you were still mostly man, almost part wolf. But you do still have claws, but they were a little smaller.
That was my bad. I was in the vicinity. I should have stepped 1 foot back.
I know you love to flail around when you turn into a wolf. And you know what?
Yes.
That was my bad. So that's probably what happened. He wasn't full wolf yet.
Yeah. So they bring Bella in because now they're like, oh, we've been keeping this secret from people for like hundreds of years since the pact, but since Bella saw it, guess she can know now. It's not a big deal. Come hang out with us.
Who's this?
Bella Swan. Who else?
So, you're the vampire girl. So you're the wolf girl.
Emily gives them muffins that are the size of fucking soccer balls.
How many people eat muffins? A tray. There was 75 muffins. And the muffins were each the size of a basketball.
Huge.
I was like, Emily, did you get so clawed you forgot how to measure like ingredients? Like what is going on here?
She's how like, ever since I got my face clawed off, I don't remember proportion sizes.
I just became the muffin lady. And also she's feeding a bunch of hungry guys. My hungry guys.
I was dying too because I don't know if you noticed this, but Jacob has 2 friends. It's like Quill and Emery. And every other one of the kids in the cult are like these hulked out, like they all trained like Jacob status where they got like really big and buff. Poor Quill and Emery, like they just couldn't afford to pay for like a personal trainer for them. So they're still very wiry, like teenage boy bodies.
Tiny, wiry wolves. When they turn into a wolf, they just kind of...
They're like scraggly, like mangy wolves. I was dying. I was like, poor guys. Everyone else got trainers and they were like, not us. They're eating their muffins. They're having this talk.
Damn it! This chick runs with vampires.
You can't really run with vampires because they're fast.
Yeah? Well, we're faster.
Well, technically no one can run with vampires because they're really fast.
Oh, and then it's like, have you seen werewolves, bitch? Yeah. Have you seen us? But also vampires do run faster than werewolves. But then they also make a comment about chasing somebody out, a vampire. And I'm like, okay, who's faster? What is faster?
Well, because now she learns that they killed Laurent. She thought Laurent was so fast as a vampire that he got away from them. But they are like, no, because we're fast enough to kill Laurent. So I guess we're not that slow. Guess we're not that much slower than vampires.
Guess we can kill him. And she's like, oh, wait, that was you guys? Wait, those wolves? That was you? Wow. You can read minds.
One of the wolves stared at me and gave me eye signals. And
Jacob, was that you? No way, that was you. Weird. Jacob, no way that was you. I feel so silly. Oh, I'm so sorry.
Anyway, she is under the impression that the wolves are the ones that have been killing everyone around town. Like they're the animals that people are seeing and that they're the ones that are killing people.
Even though she got hunted by a freaking vampire last movie.
Right.
So, Bella...
She finds out, no, it's not the werewolves. As scary and big as they are and as rage-filled as they get, they do still have the presence of mind to know who's innocent and who's not. Mm. And so they're actually not killing the people. It's Victoria, which again brings you to the point of like, well, if she's been in the tiny town of Forks for this long killing people, why is she sending Laurent as her scout to see if the Cullens are still around and if she needs to kill Bella or not yet because she doesn't have protection, but I think whatever.
I think Victoria's doing her own thing right now. But yeah, you do learn that it's not the werewolves. It's the vampires that are killing everybody.
Yes, and it's important to note here too, they do specify they can only protect you if you are on the reservation. That's like part of the agreement. Mm-hmm. They cannot protect you or transform or cause any damage.
Part of the Cold One Treaty.
Outside.
Part of the Cold One Treaty.
Yes, out of the reservation lands. So that's just like an important side note.
Which makes a lot of sense because I guess a perimeter of lands that are made up by nobody can control when you turn into a wolf or not. That makes total sense.
Oh, because yes, like a man-made line in the sand.
Like an arbitrary
it definitely pertains to mythical creatures who are supernatural. It absolutely, they have to, listen.
They have to abide by those rules.
Laws. We all live and die by the laws. The rules exist for a reason. We learned that with the Volturi. Oh, wait, no, we didn't, because why the fuck do the Volturi exist and why do they enforce laws? We still don't know. Anyway, he's like, no, we're not the monsters. We're actually protecting the people of Forks from the monsters. You're welcome.
Well, they could still do kind of some wolf powers because he parkoured up to her window. So maybe they have certain mythical powers, just not fully turning into a wolf outside of the reservation. Neither here nor there. Let's not spend any more time on it.
True, they have parkour powers outside of the reservation.
True.
So if you didn't catch that because we were fixated on vampire pants, the whole point of this is that
we're not very good at telling like the actual plot points that only matter. We're just like all over the place.
Bella now understands the vampires are the ones that are killing people, the rogue vampires, Laurent and Victoria. But part of the pact is that the werewolves can only transform and protect and kill or whatever while they're on their own lands. And so it's not helpful unless you lure the vampires to the reservation, but that's a whole different thing and whatever.
We weren't there on the signing of the treaty. We don't know all the subcontext, you know. It was a big treaty that they signed. I'm sure there's lots of like little clauses and stuff.
There's lots of fine print.
Fine print, exactly. But the majority is that the werewolves are versus the vampires. Who done it best?
And Bella's like,
okay, not that you need me to tell you something like this, but I always will. You're not going to lose yourself. I wouldn't let that happen.
How?
I'll tell you all the time how special you are.
And they go in for a kiss, but it doesn't happen because, of course, she can't sully her lips with anybody other than Edwards. But she's like here to support him through his werewolf transition.
She's a good friend.
She can support werewolves. She can support vampires. She loves unconditionally. It's fine. But something else is bugging Bella, and it's that Edward vision. She
wants to get, she's
seeing that
jonesing for that Edward vision.
Even though she's like kind of in love with Jacob, but not really, but a little bit, but giving her life for him, but wants to run away with him.
I know, you would think that like kind of being horny for Jacob you would think that her feelings for Jacob would take away her desire to so intensely see Edward if she was spending so much time with Jacob.
She'd be very preoccupied with the fact that there's a pack of werewolves in the world and the bad vampire is still after her.
If I was Bella, I would be like, holy shit, everything I've known is a lie. What is this world we live in? And like I said earlier, like what other creatures are going to come out? I would be so nervous about everyone I talk to. And I'd also be thinking like, is everyone I talking to a vampire? Is everyone a werewolf? Is everyone a Sasquatch? Like, is my dad a werewolf? Is my dad a Squatch?
Is my dad my dad?
Is my dad
Is
my dad?
he someone
Is
else?
he
Do I even trust
yes,
anything?
I would be so conscientious of like everything that's going on around me. Anyway.
But she still is fantasizing about seeing Edward. So as she is driving by, there's a cliff like on the outskirts of town on the beach that people cliff dive from.
It's the old jumping cliff. The old high, possible die jumping cliff.
And Sam loves to take his cult of little boys there and cliff jump. Like, it's a whole thing. Everybody knows.
She's seen it, yep.
So as Bella's driving by that jumping cliff one day, she's like, I bet if riding a motorcycle, I see Vision Edward, and almost dying by Laurent, I see Vision Edward, I bet the jumping cliff will give me a vision of Edward.
Hey, Alice, do you hear this? Hey, Alice, I'm going to go to the jumping cliff.
Alice, I'm about to jump off the jumping cliff.
Hey, Alice, you better tell Edward, going to the jumping cliff. You know how dangerous that is, Alice.
Alice, I'm standing on the edge of the jumping cliff.
Don't you dare give me a mailer, demon. I know you're getting my emails, bitch. Bitch, I know you're getting my email. Do not make me go off the jumping cliff.
I'm getting closer and closer and closer. I'm about to do it. I've got one foot hanging off the side.
I'm about to jump off. I'm only a meter away.
So she full clothes. That's the other thing. Like just jeans, t-shirt, overshirt, flannel, like socks, boots. She does not take one item of clothing off to cliff dive.
Oh, it's so hard to jump in. It's so hard to swim in all clothes,
Yes.
especially hiking boots. Bella, you're not an idiot. You're just looking for a thrill, dude.
Don't do this. You wanted me to be human. Watch me.
Please, for me.
You won't stay with me any other way.
She does jump off the cliff. She does have a vision of Edward under the water. It is a useless vision, however, because they just sort of pass each other. They just float. Bella, you shouldn't have been doing this. I told you not to.
Could you find out Jacob was a werewolf? You bitch.
You didn't lie to Laurent very well. You said that we were coming back, but we're not coming back. And now you're in danger. Like, just the dumbest thing ever. So stupid.
So dumb. I love that she sees it. Then it has to be a hallucination. It's not actually his ghost because, well,
that wasn't a talking ghost.
Swimming ghost.
You would think that if he was underwater as a ghost, the oxygen thing's not an issue, so he could have maybe said something. But as she's floating down, he's floating up, and they just sort of like pass each other. And you're like, what's the fucking point of this?
He's like, hey, Bella.
Hey, I'm on my way up.
Looks like you're on your way down, girl.
We're just missing each other. Sorry about that. That's a bummer.
Thought I might find you at the jumping cliff. Been waiting here. And if it's her mind manifesting these hallucinations, she should manifest him next to her, not like swimming past her, going up, being like, sorry, girl. Like you would think that it would come in like some kind of sense that was helpful to her, but she's like, no, I'm going to hallucinate Edward swimming right past me. Going right past me, going up. I'm going down.
But it was worth it. It was totally worth it
to see that, Edward.
As she's underneath the water, she sees Victoria the vampire under there. It's a long story how Victoria gets there. That's not the point.
That's where Victoria's been hanging out. I told you she was living her best life. You know, she's just on a yacht, having some tequila, just trying to swim. And of course, she runs into Bella. Everybody's down at that jumping hole.
Yes. So because she's in the water, Bella sees her. It frightens her. And Bella hits her head on the side of the cliff. And she passes out. And you're like, oh no, Bella's going to die.
Nope. Bella's too cool. Bella's too cool.
She somehow survives. Her body knows to hold its breath while she's unconscious.
She's too cool. She knows how to hold her breath.
And Jacob, all of a sudden, swims up underneath her, grabs her, saves her. Because I guess he was driving by the jumping cliff, or like they were about to jump off the jumping cliff.
It's like all they do. The werewolves don't go to school. They're just on the reservation on the jumping cliff. We've already seen him in the movie like 10 times jumping off the jumping cliff.
Yes.
So all those werewolves do is Sam's just like, you guys, I have no other lessons to teach you. Keep jumping off this cliff until you learn how to control your rage.
This is the only lesson I've got.
He's like trying to be like a karate kid, like wax on, wax off. He's just like, okay, today's lesson, gonna jump off the jumping cliff. We're gonna see who makes the biggest splash.
When you feel really angry, jump off the jumping cliff.
If you get angry, jump off the jumping cliff.
So they're just constantly jumping off the jumping cliff.
It is. It's so dumb.
But the point is that he does save her. He takes her back home. As soon as she pulls up to her house, she sees a very cool Colin car. And she's like,
That's Carlisle's car. They're here.
That's a Colin car. I fucking know it.
Oh, by the way.
You were right. Yes.
You know why? Because Volvo sponsored it. Volvo was a sponsor to make that movie. And that's why they kept showing it.
That makes total sense.
Because you know who knew that?
Alex.
Of course he knows that. I remember thinking it was so funny because there's a thing where she sees Ghost Edward. And she doesn't just see Ghost Edward, she sees Ghost Edward in his car behind him and they both fade. And I'm like, that's so funny that they put the Ghost Volvo in there. But now it makes so much sense. It is Volvo.
Because it's not just Ghost Edward, it's Ghost Volvo.
I'm like, oh, that's weird. You remember Ghost Volvo too. Like she remembers his car. She's like, if I remember correctly, it's like a ghosty kind of Volvo.
That's so funny.
That's so weird.
That is so funny. I did mean to say that. I was going to put a little voice note at the end of the episode being like, Colin was right, because we never on air resolved the issue of the Nissan versus Volvo. But you were absolutely right. It was a Volvo. Colin was right.
Volvo did change their logo. They did, yes.
Because there's one that's a Nissan that looks similar. So anyway, he's totally right. They're very cool. They're way too cool to drive Nissans.
I just remember thinking it was so funny because like Volvo's like not. When I think Volvo, they're like the safe cars. They're like
very practical.
Yeah, practical.
Well, I mean, vampires have to live a long time. They got to run for a while.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Because I'm thinking he's like the bad boy. You have like the classic, the convertibles or the muscle cars or the Mustangs or the old truck. Mm-hmm. But just to have this like very practical Suburban, this Volvo
station wagon
SUV in the back, I was like, that's so funny. Yeah, because it's like that's when he's bad boy walking slow-mo with the bad boy. I'm a bad boy. And the Volvo's behind him with the car seat and the soccer ball.
You're so right. He's like, in case I have a little baby vampire I need to pick up, I am ready to go. We can all fit.
Well, he's planning to have a little baby vampire. He's just like planning ahead with Bella.
The whole Cullen family, when they need to go somewhere, they need to fit in that station wagon.
When they need to go camping, when the weather's good.
That's true, when it's sunny camping weather. So anyway, she gets to the house with Jacob.
Bella, it's a trick. Stop. You gotta come with me.
They won't hurt me.
If a Cullen is back here, this is their territory. The treaty says we can only defend on our own lands. I can't protect you here.
Okay, it's okay. You don't have to.
And I can't protect you because we're not on the res. If this is Victoria, like I can't do anything about it. I have to watch her kill you because we're not on the reservation.
It's not part of the treaty. He's got to follow the rules.
But Bella doesn't care. She's like, at this point, I don't give a fuck. I'm going to go in. And if it's Victoria, so be it. I will meet my end. So she goes in and guess who it is?
Alice!
It is Alice in her maternity clothes.
Alice is like, hey girl, I got your emails. I got these vague like telepathic messages from you, but like, I don't know if you know, I can only vaguely see in the future.
Would you like to explain to me how you're alive? I saw a vision of you. You jumped off a cliff.
Basically, Alice saw the vision because Alice can see, again, vaguely into the future. She's got like this Electra thing going on.
Bits and pieces, right?
Just little snippets, like, that's so Raven. So she basically was like, oh shit, I saw you try to kill yourself. And I basically told Edward, sorry.
This is the thing about this scene that I died, okay? Alice tells Bella.
He only calls in once every few months. He said he wants to be alone.
He wants to be alone. He only calls us every now and then. So if you rewind to the conversation in the woods, he's like, my family has to leave and we all are staying together and we have to go as a family. And my dad is looking too young for his age. And then he fucking leaves with them and disappears and never calls them.
Never calls them.
He could have just stayed.
That's very true. He goes to Italy on his own. He's like, bye family. I know you raised me for 100 years. I'm 109 years old, but I'm going to Italy. I'm going to meet up with those Voltaire and they sound pretty cool. Pretty cool.
It was so dumb. So because he only calls every now and again and she can only see bits and pieces of certain things, she's like, I have some bad news. Bella jumped off a cliff. She could not live without you, and I believe she has passed. So I'm going to go check on things.
She just makes up this whole narrative just because she has a vague vision. And I think that, Alice lived in Fork. She knows there's a jumping cliff. She knows the jumping cliff is a popular place.
Everyone knows about the jumping cliff.
Everybody knows. And I love how Alice also shows up full Jacqueline Kennedy Onassis, like full scarf over the head with big glasses. I'm like, Alice.
Which also keep in mind, Colin, she's a quote high schooler.
I know.
She is wearing her maternity dress.
Her maternity dress shows up in her Volvo with her scarf over her head, her big 50s glasses, and she's like, hey, I thought you died.
And Colin, who's she hiding from?
Nobody.
Because the town knows who they are. They know they moved away.
You know what?
They'd be like, oh, Alice came back to visit.
Nope.
She's not hiding from the town of Forks.
She's incognito. She's incognito, dude.
It's not like Victoria's going to see her headscarf and be like, I don't think that's Alice. That girl wearing a headscarf and big glasses. There's
that
no
looks
way
like
that is a Cullen.
Jackie Kennedy type thing. I don't think
that's definitely
Alice.
not the girl who ripped the head off of my former mate
and
burned him in a fire. Definitely not her.
You think Victoria would have extra tabs on Alice? It's so stupid.
But nope.
Anyway, Alice is like,
Bella, what is that god-awful wet dog smell?
Why does it smell like dog in here? Like, this is disgusting.
oh, yeah. Jacob's next to her.
Yes, he pops out and...
Jacob who?
Jacob's kind of a werewolf.
Bella, werewolves are not good company to keep.
Speak for yourself.
Because werewolves also smell like dogs when they're in human form. That's not part of the treaty. You can still smell like a dog outside of the reservation.
Can't control what someone smells or doesn't smell. So unfortunately, that couldn't be written into the pact. Whereas you have to control where the line in the sand on the map is. Like, that's just natural to, like, obey that.
And I would also think that Alice would have some kind of understanding who Jacob is because they're, like, at this eternal war with the werewolves. I think, like, there would be some kind of, like, hey, my dad... Carlisle or whatever, he's been here for like 300 years. He actually knows the great-great-grandfather of Jacob who started this whole pact, and we actually know exactly what Sam's little group of ragtag boys is. They're werewolves. But you know what? Don't know the whole lore yet. Still trying to figure it out.
I also don't know why they're enemies when they made a pact. That is like the opposite of enemies. You guys agreed on something, and you've like been fine. Why are you weird?
But they still hate each other.
Yeah.
Doesn't make sense. You know what? Let's move on. Alice is being a total bitch, and she literally won't even have a conversation. She can't even be around Jacob. She's so specious. She's so specious.
Right, which is like, you guys have a pact. Like, chill out.
It's so awful. So she's literally like, until you take that dog out, I'm going to go wait in my Volvo with my scarf and my sunglasses.
Looking totally inconspicuous, not vamp at all in the car.
So inconspicuous. No one can know that she's there because they moved. Anytime you move from a town and you go back, you
don't
have
come
to
back.
go incognito. Oh, you don't go back. You're right.
Yeah, it's like you are dead to the people of that town. You absolutely never go back.
If they find out that you came to visit, you will be shamed forever. You have to wear total disguises. But she goes out and waits in the Volvo, and that leaves Bella and Jacob kind of like arguing in the kitchen.
And Bella's just so mean. She's literally like, run away from me. I'll save you from Sam's cult. And then Alice is like, take the dog out. And she's like, okay, well, you gotta go. Like, the Cullens take priority.
You heard Alice. Alice is the boss here.
I have not seen them in like a year, but sorry, you gotta go. So anyway, they're chit-chatting in the kitchen.
Well, chit-chatting. She's telling him he's gotta go. She's literally like, Jacob, you heard Alice. Get out of here, you dog.
You fucking mutt.
She just starts being so mean. I know, she gets like a rolled up newspaper. She's like, get the fuck out. You get. Rubs his face in the
She
carpet.
white fangs him. She's like, I've been white fanged and now it's time for you to be white fanged. She's telling him he's got to go. He makes one last attempt to like woo her, right? So he goes in for the kiss. And because it takes 10,000 hours for them to actually start making contact with their faces, the phone rings. And Jacob is so fucking presumptuous. He answers Bella Swan's house's phone.
That's too far, bud. I know you're a werewolf, but that's too far.
Swan residence. He's not here right now. He's arranging a funeral.
Yeah, he's preparing for a funeral. And then he hangs up.
And you guys know what Jacob's doing. You know who is on the other side of that. And you know, because Alice, with her 2-second premonitions, she was like, Bella's dead. She jumped off a cliff. I saw her. Didn't see her anything before or after. I literally just saw her falling. So she's dead. So you know that was Edward. Just doing a little checkup. And Jacob played the game like it's Bella's funeral, you guys.
Bella's like, who was that? And Jacob's like, nobody. And she's like, Jacob, who was that? And he's like, nobody. And she's like, Jacob. Jacob.
You fucking mutt.
Tell me.
You fucking dog.
Tell me who that was.
I'll take you back to the pound.
She's
euthanized.
Get you euthanized. And you guys, because other people in this town have been dying, from now we understand the rogue vampires, not the werewolves. Jacob doesn't necessarily lie because they are planning a funeral. It's just not Bella's funeral. But Edward doesn't know that because Edward doesn't have any 2-second into the future premonitions.
But he does have the ability to go, he could literally turn into a ghost and be like, Bella, are you alive? Hey, Bella. Like, he literally...
He could just become a little ghost premonition in the kitchen.
I know. All Bella needs to do is threaten to, like, slit herself, and the rush of adrenaline will bring Edward back, and he'll be like, Bella, you're not dead. Or he's in Italy being like, I've been trying to manifest to Bella for a while. It's just, she's not hey, she must be dead.
So, yeah, I guess Alice calls him and is like, hey, bad news. I saw this tiny vision of Bella jumping off a cliff. So he calls to double check that information. Jacob gives him a little lie where he says there's a funeral happening. Oh, and Edward does not double check, you guys. Edward does not say, whose funeral is it? Give me more information. I used to live in that town. Maybe I know who passed. Nothing. He immediately, you flash over to Edward in Italy, and he's like, little tiny apartment with the windows open, just like moonlight in the background, breeze blowing, shirt
Italy, like that's the
open.
weirdest place for the Volturi to be because it's so sunny all the time and so warm. Italy's like warm and beautiful, and they're like fully showing off Italy.
If you don't want people to know that you are a vamp, you live in a fully sunny place because no one would suspect you were a vamp if you lived in a sunny place.
No, you would sparkle all the time.
Yeah, but you're in your castle all the time.
Yeah, but they want to go out and they want to go camping on those rainy days.
They do it opposite. They go camping on the rainy days in Italy.
Either way, it's beautiful, his apartment.
So you flash over to him. He crushes his phone with one hand because he's like, now Bella's dead and I have nothing to live for. And I've been over here at the Volturi just waiting to see if there was any bad news so that I could just walk right over to that castle if I needed to. Good thing I'm already in Italy.
He literally went to high school with Bella. They were king and queen of the high school. He's got to have some other friends in Forks that he could call up and be like, yo, what happened to Bella? Yeah. Heard she jumped off a cliff from my non-vampire sister who has slight premonitions. Do you know anything about that? Like, no, he calls the Swan residence. Jacob answers, who he already has heard Jacob say, don't be with Edward. My dad tried to bribe you to not be with them.
Yes.
So he already knows, like, is this Jacob? Oh, Jacob, I know what you're doing. Like, no putting two and two together. He instantly just goes full drama queen.
Because he knows Jacob's voice. And then, like, Carlisle's friends with Charlie, so he could call Carlisle and be like, can you double check this information for me? You are friends with Charlie. Can you give him a little ring-a-ling? I feel like maybe Bella's dead. Like, there's a whole other thing that could be happening in this line of defense.
Jacob vaguely said they're planning for a funeral, and he literally goes full drama queen. He's like, all right, no point in living.
He's like, worst case scenario.
No point in living.
Worst case scenario. So anyway, you see him crush his phone. He's very conveniently already located in Italy. The Volturi are right around the corner, so he's going to make a trip. But at that moment, Bella's like, get out. I can't believe you lied to Edward. This is really bad. We have no way of contacting him because he just crushed his phone, and we don't know what hotel he's staying at.
I get mailer demons. Every time I try to email him, I get a mailer demon, and it's returned to me.
Jacob leaves, and Alice is like,
Bella, it's Edward. He thinks you're dead. He's going to the Volturi. He wants to die too.
And so there's like a very quick jump cut. They hop on a plane. They fly 12 hours to Europe. It's like,
everybody knows how cheap a last minute round trip flight to Italy is. That would already take at least 4 days. They're in the future. US is in the past. You're Washington, you guys. You're flying over the United States, over the Pacific.
That's what I put literally
Atlantic
in my notes. I was like, you're on the farthest west coast of America.
Take you a long time.
Have to fly all the way across America, then have to fly all the way to Italy. So it's like the really, really far.
It's going to take you 2 days at minimum. So Edward's got 2 days to plan.
And he's already in Italy, Colin. He's already in Italy.
Yeah, I know. He's in Italy ready to do it, but he's just waiting.
And he can run really fast. So he could be at the Volturi Castle in
2
like
seconds.
Blink of an eye.
Blink of an eye.
But I guess he's just like slowly like sauntering there, just like taking his sweet time.
He's really sad. He's like, crap, Bella died.
Boom, boom, boom. So they fly over. They make it seem like it's all happening like in really fast motion, but obviously it's not. And then when they get there, this is the only time the vampires drive a cool car because Alice steals like a Lamborghini or something. What does she steal? You would know better than me. I was like, it's yellow, so it's like a Ferrari, a Lamborghini. Like
it's probably one of those because those are Italian too, duh. So it's a fancy convertible car.
Bella's like,
I'm guessing you didn't rent this car?
I figured you wouldn't be opposed to Grand Theft Auto.
Not today.
so dumb.
It's so dumb.
Stealing cars, driving through Italy countryside, like being
with her scarf, and her sunglasses.
Still got her scarf. I was gonna say, still got her scarf, still got her sunglasses. Think about how smelly your scarf would be. She's driven all the way to Forks, then 2 days flying over to Italy, and she's not changed. That scarf doesn't have a change of clothing.
They've got to get to Edward immediately. And my favorite part is she drives Bella like almost to Edward, but not quite. She drives him.
Well, because there's that festival.
Well, the festival, yeah, that's what I'm saying. She stole a car. They don't care. And she like kind of drives him and she's like, okay, get out. You got to go find him. You'll know where he is. Okay, well.
Okay, get out now. Go. Go get him. Yeah, she kind of pulls up. And it's also this really old Italian village, which makes, if you walk this all the way to its end, it's even weirder that the Volturi are in this really tiny little Italian village because they can't hide. There's like, it's teeny tiny.
What do you see?
They refused him.
So?
He's gonna make a scene. Show himself to the humans.
No, when?
He's gonna wait until noon when the sun's at its highest.
God, Alice, you gotta hurry up.
There's Valterra.
So Alice cannot drive Bella all the way up to Edward, even though she stole a car, and she could just politely honk and people would probably move to the side. She can't do it. She's got to stop on the outskirts of town because you guys, this town on this day, when Edward's about to murder himself, they're actually, the people in this small Italian village are celebrating the last eradication of the vampires, like the last day when they eradicated all the vampires. So the irony there is so deep because Edward's going to be like, hey guys, it's a great festival, but guess what? Look at me. I'm a full vamp.
Not the last vampire in this town, buddy boy.
His goal is to like take off he's going to unrobe himself so that he just is a glitter bomb and everyone's going to be like, those vamps glitter, kill him. Like that's his goal.
This is a double whammy though. He wants to show himself so the Volturi will punish him by beheading him because he showed himself.
But those townspeople
I'm a vamp. But those townspeople are going to kill him.
They're celebrating. They literally have a festival every year to celebrate the eradication of the last vampire. They will pitchfork him so quickly.
I'm like, I think you're going to have a much more long, painful death of the townspeople, but I could be wrong.
Oh, yeah. Literally going to be stampeded to death.
Then the whole thing about you being in Italy is non-existent because the Volturi can't kill you because the townspeople have already got you. Like, what? How does that play out? Because I don't know. The whole thing doesn't make any sense.
And then the Volturi just have to wait. They have to wait till hear the town gossip to be able to be like, that sounds not suspicious.
Because they can't come out of the castle because it's sunny. So they just have to wait till it gets in the castle walls.
About this. Yeah, they have to wait till they hear some townsfolk be like, did you see that really sparkly guy in the village today?
Did you remember when we like killed that guy? We had like we got some garlic and some steaks and we ripped his head off and like, you remember that? And they'll be like, oh geez, there was a vampire in this town. The whole plan is so dumb. So Alice pulls her car up kind of to the edge of the town square. She's like, run, Bella, go get him. And so Bella runs through this entire crowd of people wearing these beautiful robes. They all somehow in this town have the exact same matching tailored robe.
Yeah, that's what you do for the Festival of the Eradicating the Vampires. Everybody knows that.
It's a teeny tiny town in Italy, and somehow that's where the Volturi have chosen to live because you'd be even more conspicuous as vamps if there's 600 people and you're the vamps that live in the castle on the hill in the teeny tiny town. But whatever. As she's running towards Edward, he steps out of the doorway, like out of the stoop of the castle, and starts taking off his shirt. So it's like little by little, like sparkle here, sparkle there. But he's looking down, so he doesn't see her running frantically yelling at him, of course, because of the festival. So he doesn't notice. So right when he goes to fully step into the sun with his whole body, she spider monkeys him. So that came in handy.
Oh, yeah, she did.
Remembered how
that
to do
came
it.
back. My little spider monkey.
So she jumps on him and she's like, Edward.
You have to move. Open your eyes. Look at me. I'm alive. You have to move.
And they make up and he's like, I thought you were dead. And she's like, but you white fanged me and said you didn't love me. And he's like, I was just lying to you because I love you so much and I didn't want to do what was bad for you.
Yeah, we know the conversations at this point. We know that nothing's actually being said at this point. They just get back together. They reunite in a very Twilight way.
Yes. And then some of the Volturi, like henchmen, come down and they're like, oh, so we saw that you were about to take your clothes off in front of everyone. And Edward's like, well, I didn't because Bella got here, so no harm, no foul. They're like, actually, lots of foul, so we're going to have to put this robe on you and take you to the Volturi Council. So you're going to have to come with us.
And
Thank
get
you very
your head
much.
chopped off, basically. We know what the Volturi do.
You will have to face consequences. So he walks them through, and there's this one like brief part where they ride in an elevator because it's an old castle, but it's also been modernized.
It's modernized,
so
yes. And everybody's still in full castle attire.
Yes. So it's very confusing. So he gets into the room. It's this big marble room with gold thrones. The Volturi Council's all sitting there. At this point, Alice has made her way in because she's parked the car somewhere else, gotten into the castle. Like, you know, that whole thing where she's like, I'll catch up with you later. She does catch up at this point.
Alice just follows through. She always follows through.
So the Volturi is getting ready to kill Edward. But you know what? Everyone loves Bella so much. They all do. Even the Volturi loves her. So they're like, oh, your blood smells like the most delicious blood in the world.
It's the yum yum blood. The yum yum blood that we've heard so much about.
Rumor has spread all over the vampiric world that you've got the yummiest blood of all. And it's absolutely
no
true.
one can read her vapid mind. They all can't figure her out. They all instantly, they high school for her. They're all like, we're going to write front page of Vampiric News Weekly.
Yes.
Bella came to Italy and saved Edward because we were going to kill him. We were full going to kill him, but she saved him.
We're not anymore. We can't read her mind. So they're going to kill her because they're like, well, she knows the secrets of the vampires. She's seen our thrones. She's like,
she's all
in love with a vampire.
Actually, I know the vampire and werewolves. Actually, just
like,
to be clear,
I
did just learn about werewolves too. So think about that.
I wonder if werewolves are everywhere. Like, we know that they can't get off the reservation in Forks, but do they exist in Italy? Like, is there werewolves that can... Do they have a pact? Is it separate? Like, I'm curious about how expansive the werewolf situation is.
That is true. The whole reservation only thing is very... It kind of throws you off because we talked about man-made borders, arbitrary borders. So I wonder if they're just like, only in this specific town in Italy you can be a werewolf. Like, only in this field. So, yeah, that's a good question.
I was kind of curious about that. Anyway, the last second, they're like, because you're not a vampire, we're going to have to kill you. As yummy as your blood is, as cool as it is, we can't read your mind. We're going to have to kill you because you're not one of us. And then at the last second, they go to kill Edward first. And she wants to sacrifice her life for Edward. She's literally wanting to die for Edward. Literally sacrificing her own life for him.
He totally white-fanged her, left. But she's still ready to just be like, kill me now, take my yum yum blood.
She hasn't seen him in like a year, however long he's been gone, and she still wants to sacrifice herself for him. And then Alice saves Bella by saying,
Wait! Bella will be one of us. I've seen it. I'll change her myself.
And everyone turns like, "Rrr." And she's like, I've seen a vision. Wasn't very long. Wasn't very detailed. However, I did see a glimpse of her running through a forest. She had glittery skin. So you don't want to kill her now because eventually she is going to be one of us. So we're actually good here, guys.
They could easily be like, no,
solved.
We're not. Your vision's not going to come true. We're killing her actively right now.
Yeah, the whole reason she's here is because your vision lacked some details.
So we can literally make our decision to kill her right now. It's like, I would be like, sorry, Alice, you're not that cool. But I guess it really is true. Alice saves the day. And her scarf and her sunglasses, she's like, you guys, you can't kill her. She's going to be a vamp in the future. She's a sparkle bunny. Yeah. She's running through. Yeah. she's a, what is it? I just forgot it. Climber monkey.
Spider monkey.
She's a little spider monkey. And they're like, oh, you know what? That makes sense.
There is a brief fight between Edward and one of them, but we don't even need to get into it because that's the end result, is that
we all know Alice's visions never lie. Bella's going to live. And you might know from the other Twilight movies that she's probably going to live, you guys.
They start leaving the Volturi. And this is just a side note. As they're leaving, there's this woman dressed in like totally modern clothes giving a, quote, tour of the Volturi castle to a bunch of tourists. And she's leading them right in the Volturi Council room. So you guys, they're luring. That's how they keep this castle moving.
And people don't know that a bunch of tourists die at this castle.
Just die every time they go on this tour.
Like that would get out
in this
so
teeny
quick.
tiny town.
I know the small town where all those pasty white people live in their 18th century clothes in that castle. You go on tours and several hundred people have never come back.
And no one's investigated. Like, no one's asking questions.
In the world of Twilight, nobody ever asks follow-up questions. It doesn't matter.
Because, you guys, it's not just like a couple that's on tour. It's not like a family that's on tour. It is an entire group of 50 people
we don't know.
on tour.
We don't know. They might be vetting them out. They're probably asking very personal questions. Does anyone know you're here? Right. Do you have any family? Is anyone next of kin? They probably go through an extensive, before you can go on the tour, you have to go through this really big questionnaire. It's like probably true. And then they're like, you know what? These 50 people, these 50 total strangers from each other, no one cares about them.
They're fine. You're safe.
You're fine.
That's so they have a very complex system of people who they survive on. And you would think that after a while they'd run out of people because it's a small place, but that's just me. So now we fly back to Forks. I guess the Cullens have moved back and all their weird fears about being found out are no longer applicable and they just don't care anymore.
Nobody in the town gives a fuck. Nobody. They're all come back with their scarves and their sunglasses and their
I was just going to say
like
their
going
sunglasses.
through the town,
They're like, were you
and
gone?
everybody's like, nobody cares, dude. No, were you gone?
We didn't even...
I just want to know if Carlisle
can
can get his job back as the doctor. I hope he can.
They have one doctor, so it's like if they already filled that position, then
no, they're going to say, Carlisle, you can't be hired. You're too young looking. It says on your application you're 45. You look
You're
30.
supposed to be looking 10 years older, so I need you to start aging.
You
please.
can't be a good doctor if you look that young. No way. And then, like, where was Edward's family? Like, he was in Italy by himself with Alice, I guess, maybe, but she said she doesn't talk to him much. So maybe they were, like, living in separate parts of the town. But where was the whole family?
Because they did, because they all reunite, because there's this scene at the end where, like, she goes back to the house and they're all there. So I guess they didn't sell it or they bought it back real quick or something.
Maybe
because
just
they're all
Edward
back in their
moved?
old house. Well, the whole family's there. That's the thing.
But I said, like, maybe just Edward moved when he white-fanged her. He just said his family was moving, but he just moved. But then Bella would have searched out the Cullen residence.
She
would have
was
made sure
stalking them.
Yeah,
like,
she would have made sure.
She was mailer demoning Alice 27
times
a day.
We saw that scene.
She would have known.
She was desperate.
So they are all standing in the living room, and she's like, listen, Alice had a vision that I'm going to be a vamp eventually. So
Might
do
as well
you want to
make it
turn
now.
me
Might
now?
as well do it.
So they go through a vote in the entire family, and she does not win the present vote, unfortunately.
First time Bella's not won something in her entire existence. Yeah.
Yes. And it's so funny because Alice is just like, I love you. You're my sister already. Of course I'm going to vote yes. And Emmett's like, I already consider you family. Of course, yes. And Jasper's like, you know what? I don't want to kill you all the time. So yeah, absolutely. I've been tired of being tempted by you. And so they're just enthusiastically like wanting to turn her. They haven't seen her in like a year. It's been so long.
And Bella, her presence is
like,
just everybody does whatever as soon as she's there.
Yeah. So anyway, she doesn't win the vote at that moment. So she's not turned to a vamp. But the very last scene is her and Edward in the forest. And he goes, just give me like a year or two. And then I promise I'll be ready. But there's only one condition.
Marry me, Bella.
Oh,
and that's the end of the movie.
Oh, Jesus. God damn it. That's so stupid. So dumb.
There's a brief moment in this last scene because they're talking. He proposes marriage to her in the forest, which is appropriate. That's where they have all their most important conversations. Mm-hmm. But there is a brief moment where like Jacob pops in. He snarls it at Edward.
He always is popping up in the trees.
They get ready to
know.
Yes, he really is. And he gets ready to fight. And Bella's like, guys, don't fight over me. I'm just little old Bella. Don't fight. And then Jacob leaves.
Yeah, it's really setting it up for this love triangle. Really. Of course it has to.
But I also feel like Jacob, I'm still Team Jacob. After this movie, I'm absolutely Team Jacob.
Oh, I don't know who would be Team Edward. Edward and Bella are like, I could not imagine being around them as people.
No, it'd be insufferable.
It would just be so freaking boring and insufferable. You see Jacob's crew, dude. Girlfriends, wives getting sliced up because they were too close. Like, things are crazy over there. Big old basket full of muffins all day, every day. Reservation, no shirts, going to the jumping cliff.
Muffins
There's
all
like
the time.
nonstop stuff going on.
Cliff
Tattoos,
jumping all the
parkour,
time.
yeah,
Tattoos
like
all the time.
I would love it. Motorcycles, building cars,
so much cooler.
Pizza. They have a whole pizza night one night. Like I'd be down for Jacob.
A pizza party.
Yeah, pizza party.
Because they can still eat human food, and like
Yes.
Edward can't. So I'd be like, anybody who can still eat human food, let's do that instead.
I would love it. I would definitely be like, Jacob, let's go to the res, dude. I'm ready. Fully tattoo me.
And then on top of that, he's like, so he's hanging with the cooler crew, but he's also just like been emotionally supportive this whole time, listened to her, comforted her.
I wonder
like,
if Sam can just turn anybody a werewolf. Like, that's my next question. Like, could they turn Bella into a werewolf? Like, how does that work? Hopefully we find that out.
Is that genetic? Because
no,
the guys,
Sam
it
gets
seems
turned.
like...
I mean, Jacob gets turned.
No, he doesn't get turned. He turns with puberty. Like a certain amount of boys, when they hit an age, that's when the wolf kicks in. So maybe it's like a genetic thing.
Yeah, I was thinking Father Sam was like the father of them. Like he's the wolf pack leader, maybe.
So what makes him the leader? Did he turn first?
Yeah,
like,
or Jacob's parent.
Maybe there's more about that in the book or something, but it wasn't clear. So I would like to know if the wolf thing extends across the entire United States, or like how far does the werewolf spread? That's what I would like to know. What rules do they have? What's their Volturi? What's the equivalent of their Volturi?
I'm sure we'll find out. You know, we've spent, at this point, 6 hours talking about the first 2 movies of Twilight.
And that's as it should be. As it should be. They are worth chatting about.
They are. We love chatting about it.
So now we get to figure out what happens when they get married next time, which is exciting.
Oh, I love a good vamp wedding.
Oh, and we need to be more vigilant about this. So I'm going to start doing it. Follow us on all of our socials. We're on everything at b.watchrewatch. Also, if you are listening to us, you are new to us, we have a bunch of new listeners. Welcome. We love you. We appreciate you.
We say this at the very end of the episode when nobody's listening anymore.
Addie was like, you got to do this at the beginning of your intro. And I was like, okay. And then I totally forgot. So I'm saying it now.
Yeah,
and then
if you guys are hearing this and you're true B-Watch fans, dude, shout out. Let us know you made it to the end of this god-awful... ungodly length episodes, then give us a shout out. We'll give you a little treat.
And then if you are new to us, go write us a review. I know it's a pain in the rear, but we do need them. We have all 5-star reviews, but there's only like 36 of them.
Honestly, if you have an Apple account, you don't even have to do anything. You just go in. I never use Apple. I'm a Samsung or Androider. I know.
Me too. I'm an Android person too.
You literally just go to Apple Music and you just click 5 stars, and then right under that you could just leave a little smiley face, and it does us wonders.
Perfect. And then Spotify has a little rating system too, where you can just click a number of stars. So the reviews we have are good. We just don't have a ton of them. So if you could just go give us a little clicky, we would really appreciate that. And next time I'll remind you at the beginning of this. But so we will be back next time. It is, what is the next one?
We'll figure it out. Bye, guys.
Yeah, we'll see you whatever the next one is. We'll see you there. Bye.